Hi, welcome to the channel. I've done a biggest winners and losers video about Orks, but since they aren't doing that well at the moment according to tournament stats, I thought it'd be good to dedicate a video to how Orks can win in 10th. Just as a recap, the War is a single turn and gives +1 strength and attack to melee, advance and charge, and a 5+ invuln. Orks also have exploding 6s to hit in melee always. Orks are back to being a horde army. You get a lot of models on the table for your points. That should help with secondary mission play, so perhaps the key challenge is holding objectives and killing things. It makes sense to hold call in the war for when it really matters most, likely turn 2. If you're going second and really worried about an alpha strike, you could consider calling the war just for the whole army invuln. It feels like a waste of the rule, so prepare for a turn, then go all in for maximal damage. Turn 1 is about keeping units safe and staging for getting as many units as possible into combat turn 2. While the faction rules lean into being melee focused army, it makes sense to be balanced and bring some gun too. Headwhopper's kill chopper enhancement feels like an auto take. It gives devastating wounds to a character's melee weapons. 20 model units may be very orky swarming across the board, but the lack of transport for protection and speed means they're a little too easy to kill. Let's look at what units and combos you should be taking and why. Orks are squishy, but transporting them in trucks is great. They're cheap with good movement and lots of gameplay. They still have firing deck and give the Orks they transport some protection. The Wrecking Ball is great for tank shock strat, not forgetting it can do actions. It has mission play for 50 points. So take lots of trucks and fill them with units and leaders. So what are the best options? Let's start with the BEASTBOSS and the SNAGGA boys. The boys have a 6+ feel no pain, strength 5 choppers and reroll hits against vehicles. The BEASTBOSS gives +1 to hit, so hitting on 2s, but they are best going after lower toughness vehicles. The BEASTBOSS is particularly brutal, anti-monster and vehicle at 4+, and when charging gets devastating wounds. He's the perfect target for cunning but brutal enhancements to fall back, shoot and charge. That allows the devastating wounds to trigger again. The next obvious choice for a unit in a truck is the WARBOSS and NOBZ. The unit is +1 to hit and -1 to wound. Everyone can have power claws and will roll a lot of dice, especially in the war. 10 knobs with the WARBOSS in the war have 48 strength 10 or better attacks at 2 damage each. GRETCHIN are a must take at 45 points, perfect for holding objectives and can generate CP for you while doing so. Have a unit with ZODGROD WORTSNAGGA just because of how great his leadership buffs are. For 80 points he gives the unit 9-inch scout, +1 to hit and wound, -1 to wound, and an extra 6-inch move in the war. That extra movement and deployment shenanigans is very handy. Also put them in the truck and the truck gets the scout move as well, super useful. My next auto pick doesn't need a truck though. It's the SQUIGHOG boys with Nob on SMASHA SQUIG. The boys are tough and quick, T7, 10-inch move. They'll be drawing an elite shooting. The 5+ feel no pain will make them surprisingly durable. Anti-monster and vehicle 4+, lance for +1 to wound, hitting on 2s when led by the Nob on SMASHA SQUIG, and the SQUIG T for nice for extra attacks as well. The Nob himself has that +1 to hit for the unit, also anti-monster and vehicle 4+, and during the war that goes to 3+. Now imagine sticking the Headwhopper's kill chopper enhancement on him, giving devastating wounds, that's mortal wounds on 3s. Next, and you may disagree, this is someone you shouldn't take, GHAZGHKULL THRAKA. Gaz is cool and performs well in combat, but it's getting him there that's the issue. This edition is easy to kill, so needs a unit and has to be MEGANOBZ. With all the buffs they are a potent force, but at 5-inch move the only vehicle that can fit them in is the Stomper. And as cool a model and a thing to play as it is, at 800 points it's horribly overcosted. Foot-slogging a unit with him across the board might work, but you need to play careful to keep him safe. If you get him into combat he can wound a knight on 2s, and the MEGANOBZ get rerolling wounds and devastating wounds in the war. And of course +1 to hit and wound from Gaz. Makari also gives them auto wounding in the war. All that said, the unit is a bit too expensive and slow. A change of tack now and considering more firepower. The RUKKATRUKK SQUIGBUGGY, and at 110 points it's only for its indirect fire. It's all the rage this edition and why shouldn't Orks get on it too? D6 +6 shots indirect and ignoring cover, +1 to hit against infantry so hitting on 5 still, even with the indirect nerf. Nice and orky. But if you have a mech nearby for 45 points, he'll get it hitting on 4s. It might seem expensive, but the mech can have another role for the army as well. He needs to be within 3 inches to give that buff, but then he gains lone operative. Why not keep him on an objective, holding and buffing for you, while your RUKKATRUKK hides behind some terrain nearby. Now thinking of units for mission play. Commandos can give you board options with infiltrate and stealth. You can't be targeted by the Overwatch strat and get a 5+ invuln once a game. If they are led by boss SNIGGA, they can teleport once per battle, perfect for secondary scoring, but all for 240 points, perhaps a little expensive. The STORMBOYZ have deep strike and can come in small 65 point units of 5. They have a risky advance and charge ability, so you can still have that outside the war. And they can be led for extra buffs, but I don't think that's what you really want them for, their damage output. It's mainly mission play, perhaps stealing an objective. MSU will be annoying for your opponents, and late game cheap squad dropping in to score points could be really good. Some fun options I'd like to suggest. GROT tanks, a 4-draw unit that I love. 4 for 155 points. So actually a good price really, 10-inch move, T6 5 wounds, and packing some good firepower that hits on 4s because it's grots. Either 5 D3 rockets with 3 damage, or the more risky hazardous custom Mega Blaster for 10 shots with D6 damage. The next is another Forge World tank, and it's the 110 point Grot Mega Tank that also hits on 4s. Has a 3+ save with built-in Armour of Contempt, loads of firepower for its points. It's got a 1 damage rapid fire cannon and gets up to 20 shots. Then either 2 rockets or 2 custom Mega Blasters. This time they're both rerolling all wounds. Perhaps take a met with this for +1 to hit and healing at each turn. Keen to understand what other Ork players are taking, as I want to take Orks to a tournament very soon. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.